and they're on a mission, and they have a plan, and they have an agenda, and they have networks, and they have people back in the countryside, and they've been working for several years. I've been working for 2 years, as Debbie said, with guys like Roe and Raj, and now Debbie Ferris, and now my new favorite guy, Richard Nutt. Hey, that was 3 R's, Roe, Raj, and Richard. How about that? So my favorite letter is R. I'm known as R5. I'm a grassroots activist like you because I'm not running a committee bill. This year we do hope that maybe we can put bills together. There's 2 bills that are being run, 359 by Jocks and 1752 by Blaise Ngolia. For your information, Blaise Ngolia ran a great election integrity bill 2 years ago. And so we know we're going to get a bill this year. I'm telling you, not every year we get that. We hear, oh, it's too controversial, let's do this, let's do that. Well, I want to explore and kill a myth, okay? The myth is Florida has the best election system in this United States, and we don't need any more fixes. Well, we know that's not true. But here's what we do know that's positive, is there's been a lot of change since I've been an elected representative. We're now voting 7 to 14 early voting days in Florida. We now have vote-by-mail ballots that have exploded. In Palm Beach County, we've had 600,000 people voting vote-by-mail. It's to say that anybody in the legislature is trying to slow down access to voting, that's total BS. Yep. We have a great system. We're moving forward. Some people would say we're moving forward too fast, and we need to catch up our rules and our technology. One of the things I'm talking about in my bill is we have certification for certain voting systems, but there's other equipment, tabulators, sorters, all kinds of other equipment that are not certified. They're not even thinking about certifying them. One of the things that I'm really excited about in my bill, that's also in Blaise Ngolia's bill, sorry, Senator Ngolia, is qualified vote-by-mail ballots. We need to honestly shrink the population of vote-by-mail ballots that we have to count. And it's really easy to do. We want military to be able to vote by mail because they're out of state. We want people that are working outside the county and that can prove that they're working outside the county or the state to get a vote by mail ballot. We want disabled people to be able to get an affidavit from their doctor and do that. We want college students. I want college students going to my alma mater, University of Florida, to vote in Palm Beach County, not in Alachua County. They need to vote by mail and vote in Palm Beach County. I have so many things I would like to tell you. I'm going to leave it to just a couple. There's just a couple of things that are just really glaring out to me, is we don't have ballot security in the state of Florida. One of the best ways to say this is we need to treat our ballots like money. If we continue to do drop boxes, we need to have a security system that we know when they empty that security box that there's people there watching, they're counting the ballots, in a secure bag with a lock on it, and when they take it to the voting location, they can take out the sheet that says how many votes is in the bag, and then count the votes again and see that they're all there, and there's no other bags. There's 25 bags because you have 25 locations. There's so many simple things we can do, but there's a lot of that we can do. Again, there's no good chain of custody. Palm Beach County is 40 miles east to west. Do you know there's some locations that are taking 3 to 5 days for the votes to arrive to be counted? That is absolutely insane. So that's one thing to do. One thing we also want to do is we want to have tighter security at the vote counting location. We want there to be badges for you to have access. We want to make sure that any data and any things that's stored overnight, that it's stored in a secure location. Just very simple common sense things. Another thing we want to do that's a little bit different I want to see if you vote by mail that you have to include a copy of your ID card. Look, you should be able to verify who I am by my signature and my ID card. And we've got to do this because that is the easiest way to cheat. Another simple thought that's going to be hard to get done, I believe, but we got to start moving on this, is I actually want to have a county certification number on every ballot. So that when the SOE sends out a ballot, it has a code number on it that is only Palm Beach County, and when it comes back, it's Palm Beach County. There's no opportunity for counterfeiting ballots. And the people that say that's not happening, we know better than that. The other thing I wanted to mention about is we actually want to put a little bit of teeth in the bill that if the supervisor of elections is not performing and not doing the things she did, she can be disciplined. Let me stop here. Wendy Link is my supervisor of elections in Palm Beach County, and I have a great working relationship with her. She's doing a good job. She helps me come up with some of these ideas. Example, one of the ideas she came up with that I tried to do last year, didn't get it done, was if you're released from a Florida prison and you've been in prison for a number of years, how about giving you an ID card? You know, an ID card so that you know, everybody knows who you are, they know where you're from Palm Beach County, and that way it'd make it easier for you to vote, it'd be easier for you to do business with the government. That was one of the things that Wendy Lee came up with. Let's give ID cards to prisoners as we release them from prison so we can process them better. I just want to say one more thing just in closing. You don't understand until you really get involved in the process that how much of our success getting legislation passed this year is going to be directly attributable to all of you people here today. Because again, the narrative in Tallahassee is, don't worry, we got you covered. Well, we know that the system has changed so dramatically in the last 5 years, and there's so many things we need to tighten up on, and with your help, I'm here to tell you that Representative Jocks, his bill 359, is getting traction because people in Tallahassee in leadership know that he's got your support. So I'm really counting on this group. And I said to y'all last night, if you have senators that are more than just a casual friendship, meaning you have their cell number, and when you call them, they call you back, that's what the kind of participation we need from grassroots activists, is you develop that relationship with your representative or your state senator, and you're able to have a communication with them and able to get them to support our legislation. So again, thank you guys for being here. This is a good day in Tallahassee.
Amen.
If you don't mind, we do have some questions from reporter Lawrence Moeller with the Tampa Bay Times. You have a question, sir?
Oh, I just want to ask if there was a grand jury report into election security that came out probably 10 years ago in Miami-Dade County, statewide grand jury. One of the things they recommended was eliminating the amount of data that candidates and political parties can get on voters, because they use that data to target voters. Specifically, they know when somebody sent a ballot, when it's been returned, all this kind of stuff that the public does not get, but candidates do get. And the statewide grand jury said candidates should not have access to that information because they use it to target people and go through their mail-ins. I was curious if is that part of your proposal?
No, sir, I haven't heard about that grand jury report. I will tell you this, it is helpful for a candidate on election day to know how the voting's going. And there is a lot of information that we do get through the voting day, how many people have voted and how many people have voted in certain precincts, and you have a pretty good idea whether you think you're going to win. So I don't know that I'm against, we use a process called WebElect, and we know who's at that place. What I would like to do is have grassroots people work with me and other representatives to knock on doors and find out if really the people that are supposedly living there still live there or not. I'm knocking on doors, and my Webex says there's 6 people living there. That's because 4 people used to live there. They sold the house and moved, and there's 2 people there now. But the SOE is not updating those records, and that's some of the things we need to do. The other thing that's not in my bill this year that I want to mention, maybe think of it, thank you for that question, is we really do have to clean up the voter rolls. There are too many people that are voting long distance in Florida. They actually live out of state, and their mail is being forwarded to them out of state, and they're voting their vote by mail ballot, and that's illegal. And so we really do need to tighten up on the voter rolls. We as conservatives, we want everybody to vote, but you have to be a registered citizen living in your county. Are we done?
One question. Thank you. My director of elections in Manatee County says it's impossible, you cannot control the people who want to vote legally in Florida. Direct answer. Yep. Manatee County.
Well, that sounds like they're giving themselves cover, doesn't it? So the truth of the matter is we're always talking about what can we do to tighten up. Peggy Gossett-Simon has a bill on Florida driver's licenses.
Yes.
What we need to do is to make sure that you know on that driver's license whether or not you're a legal resident of the state of Florida.
Will you tell us what the number of your bill is and what citizens can do to advance the passage of that bill?
I think it's 1669, right? So the problem we have is we have 2 House bills. We have Jock's bill is 359, mine is 1669. Both of those bills are similar to Senate Bill 1752. So what I'm hoping is going to happen is one of a couple different things. Either we work with Angolia and we're able to come to a merged version, or we do committee bills. So something is going to happen a little bit different. My excitement is over the fact is that Senator Angolia ran the legislation 2 years ago, and I have confidence, he's got strong leadership support in the Senate, and that we can get this done. But we're going to need your help. We really are.
Thank you, Representative Roth. Okay, now, we're also honored to have Representative Bankson. He is also a friend of our cause. Okay, he's a strong statesman, and he is a co-sponsor also on House Bill 359.
Yes.
I will turn the floor over to you, sir, and thank you for being here. Yes.
Rep. Roth just brought the sermon, so I'll bring the amen. You really ticked so many of the boxes, the important things. The bottom line is voter confidence is at an all-time low. We have to shore these things up. We see technology running at a breakneck speed. We see AI beginning to infiltrate into our society. We need to understand and utilize technology, but we've got to understand that which protects us as voters is old technology. 2005, we need to refresh all of the security. We need to give the option, at least the minimum of the option, to be able to hand count. There's nothing that can verify any clearer than a human with a conscience. And so as we look at these things and have the proper oversight, and again, it's been so mentioned, we need to make sure that it is citizens making those decisions. Voting is one of the most sacred rights that we have. I respect the voice of the voter wherever they stand. You know, of course, I want everyone to agree with me, don't we all? But the bottom line is, it is up to the voters. We have to protect the integrity of this process. And so there are no better advocates than Rep. Roth. I know we were at the midnight hour trying to press through some of those things last session. And Representative Bernie Jacques. I'm very excited to stand with them and to stand for you. So again, I want to thank you, first of all, for showing up, letting your voice and your placards be heard. And that's what it takes. It takes the individual, it takes each voter knowing that your voice matters. And one voice is really amplified. We know that for every one of you that are here, there are hundreds to thousands more that stand in that same measure. So be involved in that process. Do not be afraid to get on the phone, to call your representatives, to let us know where you stand, and to get involved in the process in committee from the very beginning. Make sure that there is a visible effect to your vocal effect. And as we do that together and getting involved, holding accountability, that's what keeps us on that straight and narrow, to make sure that we preserve for those coming after us the great thing that has been delivered to us in our constitutional republic, founded on the rule of law. So thank you for doing that.
Did anyone have any questions for the representative? Please speak up, raise your hand quickly. It's very straightforward questions. So I want to thank all of the members of the press, for our distinguished legislators, for being here. We're going to have additional information presented here, and the information that's presented is all referencing the multi-county report that was done over the last 8 months, actually, analyzing the operational process for the way different counties in the state of Florida run their elections. For those of you who are interested in that report, you can get it from multiple places, including defendflorida.org. The purpose of this event is to give an inside look at the legislators that are standing up, that are having the courage and the attentiveness to what the citizens of Florida are asking for. We recognize that this is sometimes a little different from how things have been done historically in Tallahassee. So the purpose of this press conference is to put all of that on display. So to get things started, we are going to talk a little bit about how the volunteers and why the volunteers have been working since the summer of last year, how they got 37 meetings with 37 legislators throughout the state. And to get that started, I'm going to call on my colleague Richie Nutt to get things started. And the things that he will be talking about, if you have questions, my request is that you wait till all of the volunteers have done with their presentation, and then you may ask those questions. We have other representatives that are en route. It's a very busy time in Tallahassee, and so as soon as the legislator pops in, we'll just interrupt, get them on, and then go back to our program. We also will be hearing from two of the other leaders in the state of Florida, running two of the larger grassroots groups that are a critical part of everything you see here. So we'll be hearing from them as well. Richie, thank you.
Hey, good afternoon again. What I want to speak to you about is how the coalitions work together. Okay, that's mainly it. I've got some bullets I want to hit, and then we're going to expound on them. Okay, here to shatter the paradigm that conservatives cannot work together. Okay, that might have been a flaw in the past. It's not a flaw now, because you can see I counted off the top of my head 6 or 7 groups that are in this room right now. All right, so that paradigm is officially shattered. Okay, it's a narrative, unfortunately, that the opposite side would want us to believe. Okay, and unfortunately, like I said, it's worked for years. You study 5th generation warfare, and that is a tactic by our opposite side. Separate. Think for a moment, though. Okay, everybody out here has at least been involved, or not everybody, but most people have involved in corporations, business, especially if you run your own business. You know how to run a business, what it takes to run a business or enterprise between all the people. Okay, everybody's going to have different personalities, everybody's going to have different viewpoints, but you all got to come together for the common goal of that organization, or the purpose of it. Getting election security bills to become law is a process that is impossible for one single person, and quite frankly, one organization to undertake, because it's so multifaceted. It requires the participation of many individuals with different talents and abilities, and we have clearly seen that over the past year, definitely. It also demands the understanding the scope of the task and have a strategic mind to identify those who can contribute to achieving this common aspiration, election security for Florida. Again, we're talking strategic effects here. You got to take the strategic effects and boil them down to tactics. The measures of effectiveness down to measures of performance. Okay, what are the smaller tasks that are going to roll up into the bigger overall synergistic effect? All right, that's what you see happen now. One organization cannot tackle it all. Definitely not one person. I've seen some really good people that I think are brilliant in this movement, and they can't handle it all. Okay, there's no way I'd take it on. Definitely. And there's a lot smarter people in it than I am. We have had our share of issues, frustrations, and upsets, but we did not allow these differences to detract from pursuing this shared aspiration. That big aspiration it is common sense based. Make Florida's election process transparent, controlled, and with only eligible voters. You got to do the same in your efforts too. Okay, it's all hands on deck. Literally, phase we're in. Just like Representative Roth verbalized, they need support. All right, we've seen them get support, and we've seen the effects of it. We need to capitalize on that, and just this momentum we got going needs to grow immensely. In fact, this approach of operating without drama, I can't emphasize that enough. You leave drama at the door. Okay, just like in any smooth running organization, the drama's left at the door. Okay, and we concentrate on the effects and how to work together. It's that simple. Approach of operating without drama, like I said, exhibiting the highest levels of professionalism. To me, professionalism is not only talking nicely and using manners and so forth, it's having your act together, knowing what you're talking about, being able to give advice when it's needed, and what you say has validity. Okay, that's the core professionalism, especially in the business of the severity of what we're talking about with election security. Maintaining the team approach. That has paved the way for us to partner with other conservative groups who also seek this common goal. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's a coalition mindset. Okay, and we keep our eyes focused on what the end goal is. And how do we do this? I'm going to turn it over. Next speaker is going to talk about how to do that from the beginning, writing bills and so forth.
Thank you. My name is Michelle Posey, and I'm just going to start real quick and take just a brief break. So you're starting the same way I did, okay? I am somebody just like you who thought, how much longer do we need to allow you to have before you represent us the way we say we want to be represented? We can get upset, we can be depressed about it, or we can get involved. What you see behind me and what you see filled in this room and what you've heard before me are people who said enough and they got involved. I got involved as well. That's why I'm running for State House for District 74 as a grassroots candidate. At the heart of the legislative process is a thorough and comprehensive research phase. This has been going for a while. Our process involved a multitude of people around the state conducting practical research by delving into existing laws, observing the vote counting process, and analyzing empirical data. We consulted on people who have subject matter experts, they're experts at this, and gained a profound understanding of the issue at hand. Guys, since 2021, there has been an ongoing quest to uncover the nuances, complexities, and real-world implications of Florida's electoral process. More details are available, if you're interested, in the Florida Election Security Report. But the depth of our research directly influences the quality and relevance of the legislation we proposed and that we now support. The breadth of our investigation comprised of both large and small counties, those with good practices, and many with gaping issues that are a concern to all Floridians. If we're gonna value our vote like we value the dollar, we need to all make sure there's a minimum standard. Given our findings, the next critical step was to translate them into a coherent and effective legislative text. This is essential. Bill drafting is a meticulous process that demands clarity, precision, and an acute awareness of legal norms. The language used must be unambiguous. Listen, we're not gonna give them legislation with holes in it. We're gonna fill those holes, leaving no room for misinterpretation or unintended consequences. Our team, this team, everyone in this room worked hours, days, and weeks to craft such language. We have articulated the purpose of the legislation, specified the problems it aims to solve, and are proposing concrete solutions. Concrete solutions. We're not just here complaining. We're handing you the solution. Concrete solutions, which are now to be found in the round of bills we are supporting. More details can be found in the election security report. And I want to tell you, as I've been here today, one thing I've noticed is that we need to back those who are brave enough to come here and to do the will of the people. So I'm glad everybody here today has shown up. There's nothing anybody here is doing that you can't do. We need you to get involved. We need you to find your way to Tallahassee to have these conversations face to face with your representatives. And then we need for you to fill your own holes in your community. Are you running for school board? Are you running for city council? Are you running for state like I am? Let's get involved and let's make this the people's house.
Thank you.
So, as was just explained, the long road towards legislation is a really heavy lift. No one single organization, individual can do it, and it demands a collective effort. So as you've heard over and over in this press conference, we forged strategic alliances with so many groups. And this was important because a lot of our dedicated volunteers are also members of other groups. This is not only a Defend Florida initiative, this is the collaboration of so many groups coming together and being part of this. This local action is going to translate into statewide significance. And you all know how important Florida is in this country. So wherever Florida goes, the rest of the country will hopefully go. So this is critical. When you as an individual are embedded in an advocacy network, a network that is professional, that delivers, that is moving the ball forward, then you can take the responsibility of establishing a relationship with your legislator. And that initial step includes making an appointment, showing up at county commissions, and, as all of you here are, coming to Tallahassee. This is not an easy endeavor. For me in Palm Beach, it's 6.5 hours. I never thought I would be here so much, and I don't even have a Seminole child. No Seminoles, no Gators. But this is critical, as you all know. So it's a persistent approach, it's a professional approach, and it is a courteous approach. That is so important, because they don't know us. How are they going to know what difference we have or our conduct is with so many groups that come here to the Capitol, as you have seen in the last couple of days? We are not well funded. We do not have the funds that special interests have. All we have is our vote. And that is where we have to make it count. So this is how presenting our information with competence, with professionalism, and with conviction, we were able to move from a complaint, a problem, to bill drafting, and to now sponsorship. But the big question is, what do you present to the legislators? What knowledge? How do you get that? How do you support what you know is wrong or what you have observed or what you have seen? And to that, I am going to call Dennis, my colleague, to the front. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie, and it's just wonderful to see the whole group of citizens that we have here. We're not legislators, but we're all shareholders in this legislative process. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I've been a shopper, and when addressing various shareholders, it's important to validate the common ground that the shareholders have. Some on our team have focused on problems with the electoral process. Others have looked at the big picture issues, making comparisons with information from other states in order to make a case. This information is vital to build credibility with legislators and to educate newcomers. The expertise displayed by our volunteer team ranges from across many industries, such as defense, finance, software, healthcare, to name a few. This rich collective experience, united by a common aspiration, is one of the many aspects that illustrates the collective power derived from we, the people. If we are truly going to have a republic that we can be proud of to leave to our children and future generations, citizens must be integral participants in this process. Showing up to vote is no longer sufficient.
Right.
Protecting the security of our elections is fundamental. To do so, volunteer involvement is crucial. Our team is facilitating and providing resources that help newly engaged volunteers progress along that learning curve. How can we get people to become engaged? I'm going to leave that up to Melissa.
Thank you, everyone. We need volunteers. This is a collective group from several different areas around our state, from several different communities, all different races, colors, creeds. We are working as one volunteer effort to make a difference to save our country. And we need you. We are now in an era where email and texting and so many different forms of digital communications is just overbearing. It's waning, the proposition. People need face-to-face communication. We need to get in front of our legislators so that we can tell them what we need, what we have to have, and what we have to have so that we can save our country. Personally connecting with the mindset to recruit at least 5 people is a worthy objective. You can find them anywhere. You can find them at the basketball game, you can find them at your church, you can find them at the grocery store. Anywhere you go, start a conversation, invite them to one of your local clubs. We all belong to a club, 2 clubs, 3 clubs, all the clubs. Invite them. We need to grow. The next step may be to attend the meeting or join a local club. Get plugged into an active, professional, and vibrant group. We invite you to continue to attend our free Tuesday night calls where our team shares how to build a team, how to maintain a team, and how to approach your officials and leverage your peers. The rescue of our republic does not rely on one leader or one event. It hinges on the involvement of we, the people. Each one of us has to take the responsibility on. We've got to stand up. We've got to teach. We've got to lead. We have to do. And we must see the change. And we will see the change that we wish to see if we do so. Thank you.
Thank you. I am so privileged to be part of this volunteer group. And as you can see, from what you've heard today, the task is quite immense. The opposition is well-funded, highly sophisticated, well-organized, and they've been at it for 3+ decades. So we have a big game to catch up on. To be clear, for the people here in this room and the over 770 people that are watching us online, and the thousands that are going to be watching the restream after this, in the state of Florida, much like your state, we have a large number of people that we have to foster productive relationships with. In Florida in particular, we have 120 representatives, 40 senators, 67 supervisors of election, 335 county commissioners, 2,800 city council commissioners. It is literally impossible for any one group or one individual to do the necessary work to create the relationships with which we can persuade those that are operationally in charge of our state to do the things we need them to do. So it is for that reason, I'm imploring you to consider that the time for people to sit on the sidelines under the mythical understanding that someone else will do the job for you, whether it be your pastor, your high school principal, your political candidate, your supervisor of election, to think that they will do the job for you, the time for that has passed. Now, if you want to restore our republic, to rescue our republic, your direct involvement is now necessary and required, and it's needed to be done at a professional level. So as you heard earlier, a lot of training available. You will see links to the various groups whose speakers are speaking here down below in the description of this video. You will see contact information to the legislators that have spoken here. And to continue this and to give you a sense of what that looks like from another perspective, I'm going to call on my colleague Bob White. He heads up one of the largest and most well-organized organizations in the state of Florida. Their people are here in this room and have been in Florida for many, many, many years. So Bob, thank you for being here.
Well, it is great to be here, Raj. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for those kind words about the Republican Liberty Caucus of Florida. We have, in fact, been coming to Tallahassee for at least the last 16 years that I'm aware of for what we call Liberty Lobby Days. It's a 2-day event during the second week of the legislative session, and we were absolutely delighted this year when we understood and heard from Raj that Defend Florida wanted to participate with us in some of our events that we put on. And come together as two organizations working for the betterment of the people of Florida. Our issues are many. Election integrity this year, those issues have been a critical part of our legislative agenda that we put together every year. We also include gun rights, and we include health freedom issues, and we include government regulation and limited government issues as well. I would encourage you to visit our website, rlcfl.org. We have a number of resources there that will help you in learning about all the different things that are going on in Tallahassee. One thing that you can do on our website when you get there is you can look for the subscribe button on the home page, and what that will do is it will put you on our subscription list so that as we do our legislative action alerts throughout the course of the legislative session, you'll be getting those action alerts. We literally have about 60 bills on our bill tracker that we're following, and every time one of those bills gets scheduled for a committee hearing, we get notification of that, and we send out an email to everybody on that subscription list saying, this bill's been scheduled for this committee at this time. The position on it is either vote yes or vote no, and here's why. And then we tell you, here are all of the Republican members of the committee and their email addresses, and you can copy and paste them as a block right into the send to line on your email, and then we tell you either write vote no or vote yes on whatever the bill number is, and then give them just a few short sentences. And then that way, you gotta remember, folks, there's nothing better than face-to-face, okay? That's absolutely true. And as Raj likes to say, there's nothing better than being able to send a written note to somebody, okay? That's all very important. But when these bills hit committee, we typically only hear about it 24 hours or 48 hours in advance, and that's why the email is so important. Now, I know that there's another representative that just made it into the room, and we want to give her the opportunity to come up here and speak. I just want to say just one more thing in closing, and that is this. Over the years, we have watched so many issues galvanize people into action, okay? And movements get formed, and sometimes these movements go away. Does anybody remember the Tea Party movement? I wonder what happened to them. Anybody remember 9/12 as a movement? With the exception of Winter Haven 9/12, I don't know of many groups that were even left. I got a feeling that this movement, this election integrity movement is not going anywhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. I have House Bill 135 up, and this came to me as an accident when I was running in a primary, and many of my friends told me afterwards they could not vote for me. I've been in my area 32 years. In the general, I sent my husband and the wiener dog out to look, yes, he was a very good walker. And to do the door knocking for NPAs, and a lot of them, a lot said, I'm not an NPA, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. My bill will codify what I found out, work with the Department of State, the Department of DMSMV, and all the leadership, including Speaker Renner, to find out what was going on. And there was an IT glitch that ran for 7 to 8 years, that if you did not sign up for your party at the DMSMV, it reverted you automatically to an NPA, hence the numbers of high NPAs. I promise you this, Girl Scouts honor, this was not a goal of mine, but I'm happy I found it. Everyone should have the right to vote as they wish, Democrat or Republican in the primary. This will fix it, we will codify it, and I'll continue to look at what else we can do. Thank you for your
Thank you, Representative Seidman, and the timing is extraordinary here. There's actually a session that has started where all the representatives have to be there, so we're so grateful for Representative Seidman and all the representatives that have come. Thank you, Bob White, for that encouragement and for holding the course for as long as you have. We are very grateful for your leadership, Bob, with RLC. Again, links to all organizations whose speakers are represented here will be at the bottom of this description. We need you to hear from someone else, a colleague of mine who is also running a large organization. They have a number of people here, and it's my privilege to introduce to you Lou Marin. Thank you, Lou, for being here.
What an honor. I'm excited to be here, with the Liberty Caucus and with our colleagues here, the Defend Florida. It's been a long road here. I understand that sometimes it gets long. I've walked the halls with these wonderful folks here, and proud to say we're Americans. A friend of mine once said, you know, this is not about a left or about the right. This is about America again, okay? And I tell people, you know, here in America, I served in the United States Navy for 22 years. Thought I'd come home, retired, do my thing. And I noticed that our government was kind of going the wrong way. So I got involved with the Tea Party back in the days, Bob, with Mr. Herman Cain. I got to be the privilege of being the state director for Herman Cain, and also the 2016 state director for Donald J. Trump. But I always said, you know, yes. By the way, we endorsed them here at the Florida Republican Assembly already. So, it says that you can be a total wonder than just a beginner when you live in the United States of America. It doesn't matter where you come from. You can take a C, you can raise it to an A, because you're an American, not an American. You can wear your own gold medallion, you can ride your own black stallion. If you think you can, you can. You can do things that people don't realize as an American. It's not the color of your skin, it's your attitude that lets you in. We come together as one. That's right. As an American across the United States, here in Florida, we're gonna start off making sure that we come together. Like I said, this is not a right thing or a left thing. This is about an American thing, that we need to come together, put our partisan aside, and get out there. And I always say to people, no matter what you do something. Get involved with the Liberty Caucus, Defend Florida, the Florida Republican Assembly. Here at the Assembly, we put God first, and He gave us this great country. We're going to fight like hell to take it back. Amen! Lastly, I want to let the whole world know that unfortunately our elections are not secure. It's unfortunately, it's kind of like we're out there taking a shower in the middle of the street. They're not secure because they haven't had their, yes, I know. They haven't had their protocols done or updated for 19 years, okay? Back to the days of Blackberries, and it's sad, is border security important. They've been hacking us since back 2009 that we recorded. We don't know what happened back in 2005. But I'd say this, stay focused on what you're doing, okay? Don't lose sight of the ball, all right? Stay informed. Don't listen to all the noise out there. And above all, stay united. God bless you, and God bless America. Yeah.
In one last remark here on Representative Gossett Seidman. Her dedication to this, literally, she was going into session, the House session at 4 p.m. She basically sprinted in here to give her comments and address the citizens for this cause, and then literally, we just sprinted her into session, okay, down the hallway, with me opening the doors for her and so forth, so she could get into session on time, and we made it by a few seconds. Okay, so that's the dedication. So that's the dedication actually There are some statesmen and stateswomen in here, okay, in this building. And I'm telling you, come to the Capitol, you'll see it. There's a lot of stuff I don't like going on in here. But when I see that kind of dedication, that she literally did that and was that close to being late for the session, and this cause is important enough to do that. Okay, and I just watched her, you know, yeah, basically, yeah. We didn't take the elevator, we took the stairs. Okay, up here and back down. Okay, or actually down here and then back up to the session. So yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to Raj, and he'll wrap it up.
So,